Emergency grants. My name is Rick Geringer. I am a director on the Wyoming Senior Services Board, and I'm going to talk about emergency grants. No matter how carefully a center sets up their budget, there's always a chance of an unexpected expense. A dishwasher might go out, the freezer might quit on them, or another piece of equipment not covered by the budget. And it might be something that can't be covered by a revision of the budget. In cases such as these, the Wyoming Senior Services Board, WSSB, has emergency grant funding available. The grant is for a one-time emergency need in the fiscal year. The grant is not for capital expenses like a building addition or land acquisition. WSSB encourages the center to seek out other funding sources first, such as the town council, the commissioners, a grant, donations, and check those sources first before coming to us with a request. And so the application process, we need a cover page that has the center director's signature and the center board chairman's signature or another authorized signer. We need a letter not to exceed 2 pages describing the need, why the need qualifies as an emergency need, a description of other funding sources sought out, and any kind of documentation to show any kind of funding denials. An indication if the center is privately owned or leased and who might be responsible for the equipment or the emergency need. We need a description of how the funding would benefit the seniors at the center. We'd like to have a minimum of 3 quotes, and we know in the smaller towns that may not be possible, and so we'll take that into consideration. And if you have a preference of the quotes, let us know that also. We need to have copies of the application sent to the Aging Division, the WSSB Board Grant Coordinator, the Emergency Grant Coordinator, and to the WSSB Board Chairperson. The grant request will be considered by the board at their next scheduled meeting, so it's something to consider that we may not be able to get to the grant request for a month, 2 months. So whenever the next meeting, we have the next meeting, then it'll be considered. We'd like to have the director or somebody else from the center in attendance to answer any questions concerning the grant application. So if the grant is approved by the board, then once the necessary paperwork and documentation is signed, the state will issue the funds to the center. Make sure the center bookkeeper is aware of the grant, the emergency grant approval. Then we need a closeout report to be sent to the WSSB board within 45 days of the completion of the project. If you have any questions on the emergency grant process, or if you need the forms to apply for a grant, you can go to our website, and that is health.wyo.gov/aging/WSSB. And spelled out it's health.wyo.gov/aging/WSSB. Or if there's questions you have, you can always contact the WSSB board representative for your area. Thank you. On the one hand, you never know when equipment might go out on you, but if you do see it's getting to be 8 years old, you might want to consider, when we might be needing another freezer in a year or 2 or 3. Right. The emergency grants are for an unexpected expense. However, we encourage the centers to be looking ahead on the equipment they have and when that might possibly need to be replaced or carpeting need to be replaced, and kind of have foresight to plan ahead.